Welcome to Rosette or Thornet, where I will be critiquing Tamamonomae's character skins and giving my review and rating on them. The rating scale will be from 1 to 5, with 5 being the best and 1 being the worst. If it goes below a 1, it will be fed to my wild and thorny rose bushes. Most of Tamamonomae's outfits are masterpieces, and it will be very hard for me to critique. Most of the skins will be given lots of roses. The skins are so beautiful, I wouldn't dare feed them to my wild and thorny rose garden that was just itching for a design to shred. But oh no, not these skins. They will all be receiving high amounts of roses because
Tama is that bitch.
Period.
Now, before I get started telling you about the story of Tamamonomae, could you please click that like button and subscribe and hit that notification bell to get an update on future videos? Thank you so much. Also, if you do not like spoilers or stories, then please skip ahead to the character skin critiques and ratings. Onmyoji is full of characters that come from Asian folklore, but this time, the folklore has nothing to do with Onmyoji's version. About the only thing that is similar is that both are foxes that use fox magic to manipulate people. They both can shapeshift, and they both cause destruction and mayhem, which is like an everyday life of an ordinary kitsune to play tricks on people. The folklore describes Tamamonomae as a female harlot, and Onmyoji's version describes him as a fox dad in drag that lost his family in the worst way and is out for revenge. Both stories aren't the same, but the folklore in Onmyoji's version explains why, on most of Tamamo's skins, he wears his obi knot in the front, symbolizing his status as a widower or courtesan. He never dresses as a regular maiden when he shapeshifts to appear as a woman. Here is the legend of Tamamonomae from Japanese and Chinese folklore. Tamamonomae has been a prominent topic throughout Japanese history and can be found in many works. Her tale is told in books, bunraku, kabuki, no, and other artistic mediums. Her story is told in multiple ways. About 3,500 years ago, in what is now China, Tamamonomae was born. Although her early years are unknown, she went on to become a formidable sorcerer. She evolved into a 9-tailed fox with incredible magical powers, known as Kyuubi no Kitsune. On top of that, she was a master manipulator. She influenced international issues and rose to prominence by using her charm and humor. One of the most well-known kitsune in Japanese folklore is Tamamonomae. She is a 9-tailed magical fox and one of the strongest yokai that has ever existed. Her cunning and desire for power were the only things that could equal her magical skills. During the Heian period, Tamamonomae took action that caused instability and ultimately resulted in one of the most significant civil wars in Japanese history, even if her attempt to assassinate the emperor and replace him was not successful. Tamamonomae is hence regarded as one of the Nihon Sandaiaku yokai, the 3 horrible yokai of Japan. During the Shang dynasty, Tamamonomae was known as Daiji. She disguised herself as a lovely woman and became King Zhao's favorite concubine. Daiji was an example of human wickedness. She hosted intimate relations in the palace gardens. Her penchant for observing and creating novel types of torture is famous. Daiji eventually took down the entire Shang dynasty. She escaped execution and fled to India's Magadha, dynasty in 1046 BCE. In Magadha, she was known as Lady Kayo and became a consort of King Kalamashapada, also known as Hanzok. She utilized her beauty and charms to conquer the king, forcing him to consume children, slaughter priests, and commit other horrific atrocities. She eventually escaped back to China, possibly because she ran out of children to feed, or because Kalamashapada began to drift away from her and toward Buddhism. During the Zhao dynasty, she was known as Bao Se and was regarded as one of China's most attractive women. In 779 BCE, she became King Yao's concubine. Not happy with being only a mistress, she duped the monarch into removing his wife Queen Shan and installing Bao Se as his new queen. Despite her beauty, Bao Se rarely smiled. To impress his gorgeous new wife, King Yao did such crimes and atrocities that all of his nobles abandoned and deserted him. King Yao was eventually assassinated, Bao Se was taken, and the Western Zhao dynasty came to an end in 771 BCE. Bao Se managed to flee again and go into hiding. Little is known about her exploits until the 700s, when she reappeared disguised as a 16-year-old girl named Wakamo. She duped the leaders of the 10th Japanese delegation to the Tang dynasty, Kibino Makibi, Abeno Nakamoto, and Ganji, as they were about to return home to Japan. Wakamo joined their crew and sailed to Japan, where she hid for more than 300 years. In the 1090s, she resurfaced. This time, she transformed into a human baby and hid on the side of the road. A married couple discovered the infant and rescued it, raising it as their own daughter, and named her Mikuzume. She proved to be an extremely brilliant and talented young lady, and her beauty drew the attention of everyone around her. Mikuzume recited poetry to the emperor. When she was 7 years old, His Royal Majesty quickly took a liking to her and hired her as a servant at his court. Mikuzume excelled in court, absorbing information like a sponge. She was able to answer every inquiry regarding music, history, astronomy, religion, and Chinese classics. Her clothing were always immaculate and wrinkle-free. She always smelled nice. Mikuzume had the most stunning face in all of Japan, and everyone who saw her adored her. During the summer of her 18th year, Mikuzume was honored with a poetry and instrumental recital. During the recital, an unexpected storm descended over the palace. All of the candles in the recital room were extinguished, leaving the participants in the dark. Suddenly, Mikuzume's body emitted a dazzling light that illuminated the room. Everyone at the court was astounded by her brilliance and concluded that she must have had an incredibly wonderful and holy former life. She was given the name Tamamonomae. Emperor Toba, who was already very fond of her, appointed her his consort. The emperor became fatally ill almost immediately after she became his consort. The court medics were unable to determine the cause, so the Onmyoji, Abeno Yasunari, was brought in. Abeno Yasunari read the emperor's destiny and predicted a negative omen. Following that, the most senior priests and monks were summoned to the palace to pray for the emperor's health. However, even the top priest's strongest prayers were ineffective. The emperor's condition worsened. Abeno Yasunari was invited again to tell the emperor's fortune. The emperor's illness was caused by his beloved Tamamonomae, which shocked the Onmyoji. She was a kitsune in disguise, attempting to decrease the emperor's lifespan in order to take over as ruler of Japan. Emperor Toba was hesitant to believe the diviner's words, but he consented to test Tamamonomae to be certain. To save the emperor's life, Abeno Yasunari created the Taizan Fukonasai, the most powerful spell known to Onmyoji. Tamamonomae was commanded to take part in the ceremony. They believed that an evil spirit would be unable to participate in such a sacred event. Even though she was hesitant to participate, the emperor's ministers persuaded her. They persuaded her that it would boost her popularity among the court. She had no other choice but to accept. Tamamonomae looked even more stunning than usual during the ceremony. She repeated the holy words as planned and delivered an excellent performance. But just as she was about to wave the ceremonial staff, she disappeared. Abeno Yasunari's divination was confirmed. The court went into a frenzy. Soon after, reports resurfaced that women and children were disappearing near Nasuno Shimotsuke province. The court sorcerers judged that Tamamonomae was to blame, and she was ordered to be annihilated once and for all. The emperor collected the strongest warriors in the nation and assigned the two outstanding of them, Kazusunosuke and Muranosuke, to find Tamamo. The soldiers enthusiastically accepted the accolade. They purified themselves before setting out with an army of 80,000 warriors to defeat the nine-tailed kitsune. When the soldiers arrived in Nasuno, they quickly found the kitsune. The warriors pursued her for days on end, but the fox utilized her magical abilities to outwit them several times, allowing her to flee freely. The army became fatigued, and frustration set in. It appeared like nothing they tried was working. However, Kazusunosuke and Muranosuke refused to accept defeat and swore to fight on. They practiced harder, improving their tactics, and eventually tracked down the kitsune's trail. Muranosuke experienced a prophetic dream one night. A gorgeous young girl stood in front of him, crying. She begged, "Tomorrow I will lose my life to you. Please save me." Muranosuke fiercely refused, and the warriors resumed their search for Tamamo. When they awoke the next day, they caught her. Muranosuke shot arrows, one into the fox's flank and one through the neck. Kazusunosuke swung his blade, and then it was over, exactly as the dream had predicted. Tamamo, malice, did not stop with her death. Emperor Konoe died 1 year later, leaving no heirs. The following year, her lover, former Emperor Toba, died. A secession crisis erupted between those loyal to Emperor Go-Shirakawa and those loyal to former Emperor Stoku. This issue sparked the Fujiwara-Minamoto rivalry, which eventually led to the Genpei War, the end of the Heian period, and the rise of the first shoguns. As if that wasn't enough, Tamamo's spirit inhabited a giant boulder, killing everything that touched it. Next is Onmyoji's version. He is a fox with 9 tails. He gets everything he wants. He used to not have a care about humans until one day he overheard a human woman playing a flute. He took a huge liking to the melody from her flute. The woman was dressed in her priestess vestments while attending a shrine. Tamamo finally saw a woman he could have a future with. He started courting her, and then they had relations, and she gave birth to 2 half-yokai kitsune twins. But before Tamamo could enjoy his babies, a big bolt of lightning struck down, and in the nick of time, his wife shielded her husband and kids with her own body. She was burnt to a crisp, and the children were left motherless, and Tamamo was left a widower. He did not know that the deity that the priestess was serving forbid her from marrying, and thus she was destroyed for doing so. Tamamo was left sad with only his kids. After his wife was fried to a crisp, it rained for 7 days and 7 nights. Afterwards, Tamamo was so sad that he returned to his original form, the 9-tailed fox. Upon transforming, it frightened his children, and Tamamo hastily transformed to look like his wife, the priestess, and his baby's cries simmered down and was comforted by the maiden that now appeared in front of them, cradling them with love and care. Over time, the babies grew up until they were old enough to walk and play. The girl knew that the maiden that was taking care of them was not her mum, and that it was her father, using his fox magic to comfort his children and to fool them into thinking their mother was still alive. But the girl never spoke about it, nor did her brother. They let their father keep up the charade, the illusion of them having a mum. Tamamo moved to a different area on the mountainside, and that is where he met Kuzunoha in Japanese folklore. Kuzunoha is a byako, a white fox, and she is the mother of Abinoseme and wife to Abinoyasuna. Kuzunoha made special magical bracelets to give to Tamamonomae's children so that their humanoid fox form could be hidden, and thus they could go out freely among the humans and blend in. The children were taught to always wear them and to never take them off, or else it would reveal their true form. Without the bracelets, it would be dangerous for 2 half-yokai kids to be in a human village for fear of them being hurt or worse. 10 years passed, and the kids and their father lived a peaceful life until one fateful day, Tamamo's daughter broke her bracelet by accident while her and her brother were playing. Immediately, a sorcerer, Onmyoji, with spiritual powers, sensed the auras of the 2 kids and approached them. The boy stood in front of his sister to protect her, but to no avail. Tragedy befell both of the children, and when the news reached Tamamonomae, he went into a disastrous rage of sorrow, pain, and sought out for revenge. In his rageful state, he destroyed the mountainside where he resided, and left to seek revenge even if it took out others in his fiery hunt. He waited for New Year's Eve, when people would be making their wishes at the temple, while others were still asleep. Tamamo transformed into a beautiful woman and used his firefox abilities and burned down the entire village. No one had time to make it out alive, because no one expected it, and everyone was either at the temple or was too late upon waking up. Tamamo grimly smiled as the citizens screamed in agony from being burned up by the flames. As time went on, after this tragic event, unaliving the citizens did not satisfy Tamamo. He couldn't fathom why people worshipped deities, when a thunder deity took everything from him: his wife, his son, his daughter. None was saved by the deities. He felt like it was unfair the humans and spirits were being punished at the bottom of an abyss. Later on, a river deity showed him a glimpse of his wife and kids. A portal was opened up for Tamamo to enter in hopes of finding his wife and kids. Inside this dangerous place, monsters lunged at him, and Tamamo used his foxfire to keep them at bay. But inside this place, his powers were draining. It took everything he had to push on. Inside this level of inferno, he found his wife and kids and was able to speak to her. After speaking with her, it changed him, and it gave him the closure he needed to go on. Upon leaving the ominous place, some creatures and foxes became his familiars, which can be seen on the upcoming SP skins of Tamamonomae. And that concludes the folklore and Onmyoji's version. This skin is very deceiving. When I first saw Tamamo without reading the memory scrolls, I thought he was a woman, and I don't think that I'm the only one that thought that, especially when I glanced at his posture and the way he waves his fan. Normally, I wouldn't give a default skin a 5, but I adore everything on this skin, including the color palette. As for Violet Illusion, I don't think the skin needed the little specks of red on the mask, fan, and the getter. I know it's a minor detail, but those small specks of red could have been a different shade of blue or gold. Burichi to Shinwa.
ここらも随分変わったな。私の真の姿を見たいか。
Tamamo's bleach special skin is obtainable when you summon Shikigami, exchange in the shrine, or through special events. White, blue, and orange is another color scheme that I am very fond of. It makes me think of nautical marine things. The only thing that I feel that it needs is the pants could have been bleached white as well, so that it can be a fully bleached outfit. The navy blue pants kind of ruined the bleach theme a little bit, in my opinion. True red is obtainable the same way, except I bought this from the shrine. The white pants from True Red could have been for bleached, and the navy blue pants from bleached could have been for True Red to go with the navy blue Suzumi drum that is in front of Tamamo. The white hakama underneath the crimson red chihaya would have looked nice if maybe some crimson was added to the pants somewhere to balance it out, and maybe the tips of the foxtails could have been bloody red. My favorite thing about this skin is the kitsune mask hanging down from the spider lily obi. I just think the color scheme should have been different to match the spider lily, or the spider lily could have been a different color to go along with the rest of the outfit. I love the high getter and of course the bizarre remixed Japanese hairstyle with the orange hairpins. I just feel like the kimono should have been trailing the ground instead of tied up so it won't drag the floor. For some reason I just don't like the color of the tails being bright purple. There are little bits of purple on the outfit, but not enough to stand out. Maybe the spider lily could have been bright purple to go along with the tails. In the folklore, Tamamo is a harlot, concubine, courtesan, consort, all of the above for whoredom to get to the top. In Onmyoji, a lot of his outfits are inspired by Oran's Tayu and Onnagata. And I like how Onmyoji does the style in a very bizarre way. This game is like one of the best at thinking outside of the box when it comes down to every character. The black and purple makes him look like an evil villain, which he is. The aureole behind his head, the eyes on the tail, and the detail on his sleeves and getter are all well done. I feel like the hakama could have been dark purple or black as well. I kinda don't like the little bits of red. I wish it would have stayed black, purple, lilac, and dull gold throughout. I would have liked the red if it were on the hakama as well. I feel like when you put a tiny speck of another color, you need it throughout the skin to balance it out. His eyes could have been red as well, along with the teeth of the getter, and more specks of red could have been added to the kimono sleeves because the red eye is standing out, but nothing else to go with it. Furthermore, he is a 9-tailed fox, but I only see 7 tails. I guess he is hiding the other 2 or something. I don't know how kitsune work. I guess the other 2 are the skinny ones that can't be seen on his default skin, or as a boa on other skins. On this one, maybe they are counting the tails behind his fox mask. I guess it would be too much action back there. Imagine 9 tails hooked up to your fanny. How do you even wipe at that point? I did you dirty, huh? I sure did. As for Luminary Fox, his golden version looks better. The hakama, the sleeves and tassels have the little specks of red that would have matched the bright red eye on Kyubi. The holiday is bright yellow, and I think the dark hakama could have been a different hue of yellow or gold. The design on the hakama looks good, but dark mauve I think would have really looked nice if they were gold like the design on the holiday jacket. I'm not fond of the grey hair. I think a mauvey black or honey blonde would have fit in nicely. I know some are saying that it would be too many bright colors. That's why I think a different hue of yellow and gold would make it blend right on in. But same as Kyubi, I like the aureole that is behind him, the eyes on the fox tails, the kimono jacket and getter. Also, I think his eyes could have been red along with his third eye, so it won't be too much yellow on the face. And also, Q means 9 in Japanese, so that's why I was counting his tails. 繰り返される夢、演出される夢、愛するペア。
So much has changed in Hyonkyo.
I think I've said more is more in a previous video. I'm not for sure, but this time less is more. I don't think it needed all of that stuff in the background. The skin has the same color scheme as a default and this handful is well done. My only thing is that the Onmyoji RPG version is different. The puppet tails are cut evenly across at the bottom, and the arena version isn't cut and actually curvy at the bottom. I like the puppet master fox in the back of the Hanfu, but I don't like that he is controlling puppet tails. I think it would have looked better if he was actually controlling Tamamo's familiars. He could have been controlling other foxes walking behind him, or the foxes could have actually looked like marionettes walking on their hind legs, similar to the foxes that walk on their hind legs for SP Miketsu when you click on one of her skins and the foxes walk on their hind legs around her. Marionette foxes could have been walking behind Tamamo. The background behind Tamamo just looks randomly there and not needed in my opinion. I like the pastel colors on Loving Pair, but I feel the same way about this one as well. The puppet tails and the background just seems like too much. It is a lot going on. Maybe if the background was colored to match the skin, maybe I would have liked it. The portal is a nice touch, but the green and blue throws it off. The skin has nice pastel colors, and then we get a dark gold background with a green portal, and it just ruins the whole happy colors that it had going on. I feel like the only thing that is in her background that can stay is the floating crescent mirrors with the branches. They have the same colors that the handful has. The portal can stay as well, but it would have looked more appealing in a different color. I think it would have looked better if it was pink or a faded blue. And for such a lovely handful, I feel like the face needed more makeup. Some pink blush and some pastel blue eyeshadow along with a tattoo or a facial marking that can be seen. The one she has is barely noticeable. I know I said I was going to give them all roses. I lied. For some reason I just don't care for this. It's supposed to be some sort of tarot card theme. He actually looks like he could be from the House of Slytherin in Hogwarts. I don't know what this is based off of. As for the clothing, I just know it was a tarot theme that they did. Maybe if he had a matching wide-brimmed hat with more gold in different places of the outfit, maybe I would have liked it more. It would have given him that pimp swagger. The cane could have had some gold as well. I think a hat would have really made a difference. But off to the thorns. I don't really have much to say about this skin for some reason. It's pretty imbalanced. The only thing that I don't like about this skin is the weird white thing in the back of her obi belt. She already has an obi knot in the front, so another one on the back just seems random to me. But other than that, it's a nice outfit.
運命の風はすでに怪人と化した。この世がどうなろうと、昔の私にはどうでもいいことだ。私の真の姿を見て。たとえ姿が変わっても心は変わる。いかなる時も君たちの元に戻れることを願い続けて。ここが現実ならどれだけいいか。もう痛みを忘れたのか?
Compared to his other skins, this one looks a little plain, but it's not bad. I like the boa and his lower tails. tossing your hair.
ここらも随分変わったな。俺の真の姿を見たいか？じろじろ見るな。旺盛な好奇心で命を奪うこともある。たとえ姿が変わっても心は変わらない。
愛か、怖がらなくていい。
Lotus Dream is my absolute favorite of all of Tamamo's skins. I can see why it is an S-Jade skin, the color scheme, the familiar sitting on lotuses, him standing on what looks like a pond with lotus flowers, the cardigan he is wearing are all astonishing. Everything matches. Love the detail on the sleeves, and the most clever thing about this skin is that his hair in the back is shaped into a fox, and it looks like it is alive.
Hm. 私の真の姿を見たいか？じろじろ見るな。美貌を盾に危険は忍びよう。
This skin is a collaboration with a Shanghai studio and is only for the Chinese server. It was influenced by Chinese water ink painting. In Japanese it is known as sumie, so that's probably why the colors on this skin are so monotonous. I absolutely enjoy long flowing clothing since they make the character appear ethereal and elegant. Tamamo.
お前たち早くついてこい。私の道を塞ぐ。いい度胸ね。
This is Tamamo after he was done visiting the abyss with his wife and children, and after some sort of ritual. I'm guessing these two foxes are his familiars that he met as he was exiting the abyss, maybe. This skin looks very royal. My favorite thing about this character's skin is the obi knot with the kitsune mask going down the knot and the two foxes that look like they are guiding some sort of shrine throne that he sits on. I don't like the colors of the foxes. One is a velvety dark color, almost black, the other is white. I also noticed this on the Onmyojiarena version of him, on his demonic QB skin, but on his shoulders he has a dark fox and a white fox mask. I don't know what that represents. I know he has familiars when he left the abyss, and maybe the dark and light fox are representing yin and yang in a way, since Taoism is also a part of Onmyoji. He is wearing a fox talisman in front of his obi knot. Also, in this game, the Tao symbol is displayed on a lot of talismans in this game, and even the name of this game means Yin Yang Master, which translates to basically sorcerer. I like his parasol with the many 14 underneath it. 14 are wind chimes that are usually hung during the summer, which is probably why Tamamo is wearing neutral colors with a bright yellow talisman in front. I'm not going to tell the full meaning because those talismans should be avoided at all costs. You are basically trying to make contact with demons to help you out, and other talismans are used for other things, either to ward off evil or for fortune, which is basically just calling on another one for that as well, and it fools the diviner, which is why, after a while, they come back to mess with you and hunt the place. But back to reviewing, it appears that Tamamo is sitting on top of a kitsune shrine of some sorts. There is a miniature building behind him. After his transformation, after visiting his wife and kids in the abyss, it is like he went through a full level up, where a ritual was done, and now he always appears sitting on top of something with his familiars around him.
百鬼夜行、この先には行かせぬ。このうつつよで我らはチリアクタでしかないと。バカバカしい。この世がどうなろうと昔の私にはどうでもいいことだった。ほう、この私の膝元で王侯かっぽとは海洋ごときが随分つけ上がったものだな。哀れな消えよ。運命の枷はすでに怪人と化した。運命の枷はすでに怪人と化した。どこへ逃げるつもりだ。常ならざる百鬼夜行、面白いとは思わんか。
From looking at this skin, I can see why it is called Demon Parade. With all of the yokai surrounding him, there are long stories about each one of these yokai that I won't go into since this video is already too long. I was hoping to keep this video under 30 minutes, but it didn't work out that way, and I ran into a bunch of awful complications and setbacks, and that is the reason why it took 2 months to get this video out. But anyway, I will name the yokai surrounding him, starting with the most weirdest one. She is called Rokurokubi, which translates to pulley neck, and in other words, the long-necked woman. The yokai that looks like a parasol is called Karakasakozo. The Cyclops characters with one eye, could be some sort of Yamawaro, Yamajichi, or Hitotsume Kozo. There's a long list of one-eyed yokai. The one that looks like a haunted broom is called Hahakigami, and Onmyoji already has that as a character in the game, along with some of the one-eyed characters. I've yet to see the long-necked woman as her own character in this game, and of course, he has kitsune surrounding him. As for the face on the wheels, they are called Wanyudo. They are wheel priests, and in folklore their location is either mountain roads, village roads, or hell. The frog is a kaeru. The last one is a yure, and it is called Tochi no Bake, and it is a paper lantern ghost. And Onmyoji added it as a character in the game as well, but I don't get why they called it lantern so when they could have kept its Japanese name in Uromaji. Onmyoji would never be done adding yokai and yurei to their game because there are hundreds of them in Japanese folklore and other Asian folklore, along with some that look similar to each other. So some of the names I mentioned might be wrong since they're all similar yokai.
この無礼者。私の道を塞ぐとはいい度胸ね。
無礼者。
I don't know how to feel about this one. It's more bland than the others. It's not bad, but it just doesn't amaze me like the others do. I also don't like how his familiars look. Are they foxes? But with a paper lantern head, I guess. I like his background and the sleeves of his kimono. Maybe if the color palette was different, then maybe I would have liked this more. Oh no, Gishiki.
「お前が望む死に方を申すがよい」。私の道を塞ぐとはいい度胸だ。無礼者。
I like that the foxes don't have masks this time, and they are pulling what looks like some sort of decadent boat or dais. I really like his sleeves in the shape of fire and his jewelry. Everything looks nice on this design, so it's definitely deserving of 5 roses in my opinion. Kitsune to karu no suneta yotai.
外は賑やかそうね。今となってはほどくのほどに絡みついた人と物のことの運命のある。そこから容易に抜け出せるものなど言わしない。どこかでお会いしたことでもあるかしら。私の知らないことを教えてちょうだい。どうして倒れているの？もう一杯いかが？騒がしい人は嫌いだよ。 祝杯をあげましょう。我々の勝利のため。今宵を最高潮に。
For some reason, this skin was never released, or not yet. It looks like an old version of his ritual flame skin. I like the colors, it looks fierce. Like the background with the Kitsune art on it. Everything is so elaborate and regal on this skin, even down to the hairstyle and outfit. I wish it was released to us. Tamamonomaeがいると天性のカリスマ。私の愛するカエルたちを、私のバレエの虫を捕まえてください。次は玉の名前のカードだ。
美しさと危うさ、お前にはどちらが見えている？運命には抗えぬ。しかし、だからこそ戦わねばならぬ。おとなしく罰を食らえ。狐火は私と共に輪廻の彼方へ行くだろう。私は名数とやらに屈しない。神よ、本当にいるならばどうか。あの穏やかな日々は水泡のごとく儚いものだった。この因果は私が断とう。この炎で憎き者すべてを燃やしてやろう。とくと見よ、この玉の前の真の姿を。この炎で憎き者すべてを燃やしてやろう。
Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Toodaloo, until next time.